Well, welcome back to another episode of Bad Back Garage. This episode, I fit that. Yay!
Bad Back Garage.
Yeah, I'm not looking for. Oh, look, I shouldn't lie. I am looking forward to it, but I'm not at the same time. The wiring has to go in, and it's gonna suck. But I think first things I'll do is I'm just gonna lay those. I can't even. If I knew how to use a camera properly, it'd be alright, eh? I'm gonna lay the harnesses out on the ground, and then work out which one goes in which part of the car, and then put them in the car. I think that's a smart way to do it, I guess. So I'll get into it. Might get that. Might take that seat out first. Get that dash harness in. Sort of half tempted to take the wheels off it and we'll take the springs out of this thing actually. Might take the springs out of it because I need them out anyway to for when I put the 37, I need to measure where I need to cut like guards and stuff out. So I might I'll do that first. Let's pull the springs out. Well, this sits pretty close to the sump. I probably should have checked that. Let's get under here and see if it actually hits. Looks like, I don't know if you can see, there's diff lines and everything in the way. See if you can get a better view than I can. No, but it just hits the sump. So it hits somewhere. Hold on, I'll see if I can turn. There you go, you can see my ugly face. Yeah, there you go. So the diff hits the sump on the pumpkin there. So I definitely need to go a little bit longer on the bump stops. Is that leaking? Oh, look at that. Well, I don't think you see my struggles trying to get up there. That's a pretty good thing. The old face was a bit red and I was struggling. But yeah, as you see, I've got to run a little bit longer bump stop. So I think some 80 series ones will probably do the job, and it's pretty close to everything. So yeah, we'll put some longer bump stops in there. But I'm just going to get in and throw this harness in, and I'll get back to you. Oh look, it's SEMA ready. Yeah. Definitely going to need some cutting for 37s, considering they're only I think they're not even a 31. So, yeah. Harness is sort of half thrown in. It gives me a layout sort of where it all sort of goes. I think my next bet now is going to be very tedious and time consuming. Is to start stripping all the harness back and zip tying it off into sections in the engine bay and roughly where it's going to go, have it all zip tied in, and start plugging it into each harness into each one and hook a battery up to it and just make sure my earth's hooked up first. Put a battery to it, see what happens. I've still got this harness to put in. That one's really going to be stripped back. That's a mess. But I figure if I start with all this stuff here, just get the basics of the car working first and before I get the engine working, will be a good start. So I'll put yours down for probably the next day or two. I suppose it's probably going to take me. And I'll pick it up when I get to the next step, I suppose. So I guess I'll see you in a day or two, or for you it'll be the next clip. Well, pretty tired. I decided instead of taking a few days to do this wiring harness, I got in and sort of sorted it out. Well, not but it's all laid out and stripped. All the conduit and tape's all stripped off it. Sort of laid out where I think that's thermo fans and lights. I think that might be a horn, maybe. Blinker wires out through the sides. These are random ones I don't think need to be hooked up to anything. Same with these ones. Blinkers, guard blinker. Half the engine harness is in there. The other half is that mess. It is a disaster. I'm glad I've stripped this back because there's literally wires, just bare wires everywhere. But anyway, yeah, got all this pulled apart. It's all pulled apart. Like, it's a fair bit of extra harness from the GU, like, because that's actually supposed to loop down and come back up. But I might pull that a bit more through, so then I can sort of tuck it. I might tuck it all up under there because there's a big gap there. I'm not going to run a heater or aircon or anything. I won't need any of that, so I should be able to tuck maybe all the fuse box and everything, because I've just got to adapt. That's just got to plug into that harness there. I think they go up to the dash somewhere. That just plugs in to there from the rear all the way back. So it's actually pretty. No, just go across. The chassis harness from the GU that usually runs on the chassis, I'll put up in the cab, and I'm just going to run it through, and I'll put it, because I'm going to run the lights in the back of this, so I don't have any bumper lights, because they're just going to get destroyed. I think these corner lights will get destroyed too, but so I'm not too worried about the wiring where it is at the moment, because I've got to cut. These guards are all going to be cut out anyway, because as I said earlier, if that's I think it might be a 235, so it's what a 30-inch tyre, I think. If that's a 30 and that's how much room I've got, yeah, 37 is going to be cutting up here somewhere. So, but I still got to run a little bit larger bump stop in the rear, so it might be a little bit different. What else? Right, that's the gearbox harness. That should plug into there. And then you got, as I said, that harness comes through. Oh, this bit comes through from the engine bay, and it plugs into the dash harness, and then some of the rear harness stuff there. It's not too bad. I'll just go through tomorrow, and tomorrow I'll go through, and that's really dumb that way. Get all the lights, blinkers, hazard light switch, blinker stalk, column. I'll get everything that needs to be plugged in electrically. I think I've got the tail lights here, so I'll put them in. I'm just going to start getting everything. If it's not plug in, I'll make an adapter harness or something just so I can plug it in to the GU stuff to the GU harness to the GQ stuff. I think the biggest thing's going to be the cluster. Not sure with that yet. I've never done this before, so I'm winging it the whole time. Like, you don't have to be the smartest person to do this. It would have been better if I actually labelled everything. That'd be smart. But I'm, as I said, not the smartest person. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens. I'm gonna go. Ooh, creak. This harness here. I'm just gonna spend a little bit of time on it tonight, just to just throw some zippy ties around it, just to tidy it up a bit, to give it some sort of flow. So when I go through and start, like, some of the wires are labelled, but like it's just got random cut wires everywhere, and this is supposedly done by a workshop. So there is so many cut wires and bare wires everywhere. It's shit. I don't know how this thing ran, or didn't have a problem. So I'll fix that harness up. You can't see it now because you're looking at me. I'll fix that computer harness up. Plug all the 12-volt stuff in. I'm going to hook a battery up without that computer harness plugged in, and then I'll go through and make sure everything works. Try and get like all the lights blinkered, like lights, whatever dash bits I can get working, wipers. We'll get that sorted first. I'm going to put just a head unit in this thing, because I want some bush stuff. So I'll put a sub and everything in it, just because I've got 50,000 of them around here from years of keeping them. And in the storage units we buy, we've got a few subs out of that, and out of cars I've parted over the years, I've ended up with subs in them. So throw some subs in it, some speakers in it. I've got heaps of speakers too, so I'll put speakers in all the doors and just be run off the head unit. Nothing fancy though. One thing I have done is all my earths. Oops, where are we? Earths. I've gone through and hooked all my earths up. I just got to do the ones on the dash still. There's a few earth plugs, but I put all riv nuts in, and I've grounded down all the surface, cleaned all the terminals up, because that's the last thing. Pretty important thing when you're doing this sort of stuff is make sure your earths are you got good earths and all your earths are hooked up. That'll be the biggest problem you'll have doing this sort of stuff, is if you get earths, things can catch fire. That's when you generally have the fire issues. Because if it's fused properly, everything, it doesn't matter if you've got an exposed wire, it should just blow a fuse anyway. But if you haven't got good earths, that's what the current will then heat up your power wires, because they're trying to find an earth somewhere, it'll just melt through your other wires. That's generally why you have issues with wiring. So I'm going to put the camera down, tidy up that computer harness, and I might show you that. I'll show you in the morning when I get back into it. See you in the morning. Well, it's I think a day or so later since I've been working on it all day yesterday, and it's still a mess. I have pulled the engine harness through, except stupid me took photos. Well, smart me took photos of where everything went. Stupid me lost the photos of where everything went. So I've been playing work out where this goes. I have got blinkers, headlights, tail lights, the fan and everything works over there, the dash all works, but I've got that to contend with. It's a nightmare. Like, I honestly don't know how this car didn't catch fire or or have any other major dramas, like there's just open wires everywhere, and like shit like this, just twisted wire, or you can see it, twisted wires, and just there's a tiny little bit of electrical tape over it. It's pretty bad. Oh, the other drama too is I lost the key, so I'm down to this at the moment. I don't know. I'm not sure with Nissans if they're supposed to have a chip in the key or not. I don't know how it works, but the dash fires up, and I haven't hooked up the engine enough to make it start to see if I've caused any dramas there yet. The other thing I can't get working is the wipers, but I can't remember if they're working in the last car or not that it come out of. So I'll plug this back in, this harness back in. So it's pretty easy to sort out, but plug it in, and I might just check like wiper relays and things like that, just see if there's power going to it. And I don't think it'll be too big a drama. It'll be something stupid. Oh, and the other drama I got is the brake lights. The brake lights don't turn off. They just stay on. So you just turn the key on, the brake lights come on. But I pulled a accessory wire for the radio, I think it was. The radio accessory wire. And the brake lights turned off, so there's backfeed somewhere. But when you've got, where is it? Oh, sit down. They're all the accessory wires for the radio and that. They were all twisted and taped, and I've just ended up cutting them off all together just to see if they're arcing out on each other. But yeah, things like, there you go. A lot of that stuff wasn't even taped up. It's pretty bad. But yeah, I had to. Oh, and the rear harness that I had, the chassis that over there, ended up being no good. It had a fault in it. One of the blinkers wasn't working, so I went and found another harness at the back, and now I've just got to strip all that back because I'm going to be laying that out in through the cab. And reverse lights, I think I'll hook up, but I haven't hooked up the wiring for the gearbox yet either. Yeah, so got to run the wiring through the cab so I can hook it up to the lights, the standard patrol lights, which I've got these. I found sitting in my parts bin, so I just got to find a plug. The plug's in there, and I can splice the wires into the GU harness then, and just use the factory wires, or factory lights. I don't have to. I want to make it all plug and play, so it's pretty easy to pull apart later on. But I'll be splicing it properly with proper splicers and heat shrink, and yeah. So today's plan is. Oh, and the other thing too, I can't find a pinout for the Ford computer. So the only one I can find is off a 4-litre Falcon, like the 6-cylinder one. I'm hoping they might be the same. I'm hoping the wiring diagram could be the same, but I'm just checking. I've got some books that I might have a Falcon. Let's see what I've got. That's Commodore, Navara, Territory, Lollies. Because I remember a lot of the cars I get end up with these books in them. Factory, not there. I have a bag of books up top too, so I might I'll go up top and just have a quick look. So bear with me. I'll go see if I got a book. I had a quick look up on the mezzanine. I've only got a GQ Patrol Haynes manual, which will be handy for if I try and wire in the GQ dash cluster. But I'm thinking I might just see if I can bodge this GU one to fit in the GQ spot in the GU dash section. See what happens. But what else? So yeah, I might have to go buy a GU Haynes and a NL Fairlane, I think, or EFEL, ELEF, whatever it is, Falcon manual, to try and work this wiring out. But I'm going to just look at a 6-cylinder one now and check the pinouts and see if the colours all match up, and do some continuity tests and see if the wires go to the same sort of spots. And if they do, well, I'll use that and I'll let you know. If not, I've just wasted probably another half hour of my time, and yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do. I might, I'll just get a fuck around for a while. So I'll get back to you once I finish fucking around for a while. Well, this is where I'm at. Just pulled this mess back out of the car, and I downloaded this off the Googles. I bought some manual, and I'm going to hope and pray that I can work this out and clean this mess up into something a bit better. Yeah, plan is to try and strip back what I don't need, or at least pull it back out of the way. I'm not going to cut anything out yet. I'll pull it all back. Hopefully, there's some labels on some of this stuff, so I need to really strip this out and lay it out a bit better, and then see what matches up to my diagrams here, and I do a lot of testing, and hopefully work this out. I'm not going to bore you with this because this is probably going to take me a while. I'm just going to put some music on and just get into it, because yeah, this is the first for me, so we'll see how it goes. Well, I've haven't really done much, except I've sort of got it down to only a couple of wires that are joined between the two computers. Found all these wires that were just pulled out and not used, same with all those. So I figured I'll start at the easy end. I'm just going to go through and patch up like things like this. Same in here. I'm just going to tidy it all up, like use, I spliced all my wires together. I got some other splicers too for the bigger wires. Splice and heat shrink. I'd rather go through a bit of stuff that, even if I use a bit of stuff as consumables, like all the zippy ties, I'd rather do that than have to start a whole harness again. So I'm just gonna tidy it all up so it's neater, and then go from there. So I'll get back to you once it's a bit tidier. Well, looks a bit better than what it was. I haven't actually worked out what everything does yet, but I just went through and redid what was already there. So I just went through and tidied it all up. I put a connector so I can plug between the two harnesses instead of being all jammed up. But I still got that end to go. It doesn't need much, just needs some of this fixed up. But yeah, just went through, heat shrinked everything that was joined and all the wires that weren't going anywhere, pulled them out because I might need them still. I think that's AC clutch or something it worked out to be. That plugged in somewhere else, so and I think that plugs into the main loom, all the factory connectors. So hopefully I'll finish tidying that end up, and then I'll plug it back into that mess. I'd sort of half tied it up so I could see where things were. Plug that in, run it back out. I think I've just got a couple of wires here for start. So a couple of wires. It's alternator. That's alternator earth, alternator power. I think I'll have to double check if the things with the multimeter. And then just plug into those ones there, and hopefully I don't get a fire. anyway. Well, something like that. Or break something or burn something down. Probably both. Probably just burn the lot down, be easier. Actually, I might ring up and get insurance on it before I plug it in. That might be a smart idea, yeah. So it's still a bit of a mess under there. Like, well, that one might go to the coil. I'm trying to work out where some of these wires still go because they're just. It doesn't make sense. Like they just sort of. Actually, that might be. I don't know. Oh, that goes oil. Oh, it might be the old temperature sender wire, but you got to use a new one off the Nissan Dash instead. I think that's what that one is for, which I just found and wired that in. But you just got earth there, and what's that one say? I think that's the actual starter signal. So I haven't got the starter motor in yet, but I can at least run the multimeter to that just to see if it's getting signal. I'll just turn the key, see if it gets signal, and just keep playing with it from there. So I'm going to go have a break because I'm hurting. I don't think this wiring diagram is going to help me much because I actually need the pin out for that thing, which I'm going to go back through the manual and see if I can find it. Might help a little bit. So, but I'll have to work backwards though to the computer instead of working from the computer out, which sort of sucks. But yeah. Oh well, I'll go have a break and might come down tonight or start again tomorrow. Well, after spending about 8 hours all up, I think, maybe less, I don't know. I've worked out what every wire does on the 5 litre side. So that's all those and everything there on the engine harness. And makes no sense why the factory Nissan ECU's in this thing still. Because when I cleaned it all up, this plug here, I put this, just use an old Nissan plug and spliced it in. But all those wires, all they do is go straight out to the body, straight out to the body loom. So nothing actually goes back to the computer. It's not using anything from that computer. The only thing is that computer something to do with the body control module in the Nissan that it needs power and that's it. Might just need a power reading and I don't know. I'm gonna put all this put the harness back into the Patrol and hook a battery up and see what happens, I suppose. I just want to. I still got to do a. I still need to put the starter motor in. I haven't put that in yet, and put leads on. Got no alternator, but I don't need that. I've got to create a earth. Just for the engine. Engine needs an earth. I'll have no fuel pump, but I think the plan is I'm not going to do it tonight because done 2 nights in a row and I'm sort of buggered now. What am I getting at? Yeah, so maybe tomorrow night I'll see how I'm feeling, but I might come in and put everything back in, put the starter in, and see if it'll fire with just some brake cleaner in it, just so I know that if it does that, I know then all I've got to do is put my put the fuel pump in, and then put fuel in it, hook some fuel lines up, and then it hopefully run on its own power. Once it's done that, I'll do. I think the next thing will be steering. Is probably the most important thing. So at least I can move it. Steering and brakes will be the next 2 things. The problem is I need the brake lines out of my other Patrol because it's got extended brake lines in it already. So I need to steal those brake lines out of that car. Save a bit of money. because they're expensive. I need to steal those. And yeah. God, I don't even know where I'm going tonight. Tired. Not even late. It's only like 8 o'clock or something. 8:30 or something. I don't even know what time. Had a bit of a down day today. Helped the missus with some stuff. So, but yeah. Hopefully I'll get back on this tomorrow night. So for me it'll be tomorrow night. For you it'll be about a split second, or maybe when I finish talking, and then hopefully have it running maybe, and then moving within the next couple of days, which will be really good. I'll see you in a second, I suppose. Well, it's been a couple of days since I've been in the shed to work on this car. My body gave up on me, so nothing unusual. But yeah, I'll show what the harness is ready-ish. I think I've showed you already use that plug. Pretty much those wires there, all they do is go straight out to these two plugs. Nothing goes back to the factory TV45 computer. So I still have no idea why that's hooked up. What I did too with the diagram, this is the Ford one, I didn't have any pin-out numbers, so I had to trace every single wire back to the ECU, and with Ford harnesses, the colours change they literally change at this plug from the other plug, the engine plant harness plug. They'll change in colours, and if they didn't change colours, they're that faded, they're a different colour anyway. So I was having a lot of dramas, so I had to physically pin out every single wire backwards. So that's what took me so long. Next step to do is this main pink, which should be red, power wire. It's doesn't go anywhere, and it's just very poorly done. It's been hacked up heaps. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run that back through into the cab. Well, that's the start. That goes to the start of that one. But all the other ones, because it needs, it's got the starter wire powers the coil and it powers the distributor and something. Oh, and the airflow meter just for startup. On starter has to have power to those two for some reason, and then, well, obviously the distributor, but then everything else runs off another power wire, another pink power wire that I'm pretty sure I'm just going to run to a relay, like a power wire for the O2 sensors, which are these ones. No, not those ones. They're not O2. They're O2, but they're all pretty badly melted. So I might see if these work. If they work, I'll leave them now, but I might try and order new plugs. Same with the injector plugs. All the injector plugs, I got no clips. Every clip's broken, so you literally just pull them all off. So I'll zippy tie them on for now, just so I can get this thing up and running. But yeah, plan is I'm just going to make a new power wire, run back through, and have another plug that I'll put beside that. Oh, fucking big mozzie. Worst thing about my shed's mozzies. We get bad mozzies here where I live. And they love me. But anyway, yeah, I'm just going to run a power. Fix these wires, because there's exposed wires everywhere. Run them back through this harness, put another plug here, and then run it, and then find a main power wire that I can tap into in here, because it looks like they've just cut in like random spots everywhere. So as I said, I'll just get around to a relay. I might even try. Oh yeah, well, we've got big power wires everywhere. I might try and use a relay that I'm not going to use or something, and just use that one. But I'll see like things like that. Look at that. That's like a pretty thick wire they've got running in there. Actually, that plugs into... I think I've seen that plug somewhere. Yeah, that plug there plugs into the ECU or something. Yeah, random wire off the ECU. But they're just run into that nice big thick wire onto a nice tiny little one. Like, I'm going to cut that out. It obviously just needs the ignition source, so I'll probably, actually, to be honest, I'm just going to run another relay. Oh, fuck, I don't want to run another relay. I hate running extra relays. I'd rather use what's here than running extras, so I'll do some research, might try and find a patrol diagram and work out which relays I don't need, because they haven't got real big wires going into them, so I don't know. See what happens. I might just end up, it might be easy just to run an extra relay and run like this one and the other, or the computer. Actually, what, because really the O2 sensors should have their own. I probably should run the O2 sensors off their own relay, and yeah, I don't know. Usually I do. I know with my, because this is only the second harness I've ever done. Usually with my, I did with my LS, I did a two separate. I can't remember, to be honest. No, I just ran injectors, coils, and O2s. Maybe I did run O2 separate. So I might run, it'd probably be easier to run a couple of new relays in the cab, one for O2s, one for ignition, maybe one for injectors or something, or I don't think they need that much power. Don't know. I'll fuck around and do something. I honestly don't know what I'm going to do, to be honest. I'll probably run one relay, one or two relays for the whole lot. She'll be right. Obviously, it worked with this bodgy setup. Well, you can't see it, you're looking at me. Obviously, works with the bodgy setup that I was showing you. So I'm sure I'll two relays wired in properly. Just find an ignition source to switch it all on. It'll work a lot better than what I've got. So I'll stop crapping on and fix this power wire up first, tidy that up, and then I'll suppose I'll fix up the harness, like that exposed wire in the GU, like fix up. There's another one just there, shit like that, just randomly taped in. Yeah, stuff like that. I'm just gonna. Oh, there's another one there too. So I need to cut all them out and get rid of all this extra shit and redo it back onto relays and just find one trigger wire and trigger it all off that one wire, and that should make it a lot cleaner. So once that's done, plug it all back in and try and start it, I guess. I've got to put starter motor in first, and put new starter wire. So I'll get all that done. But I'll show you once I've done the next bit of wiring anyway. I'll get into it. If you ever need wiring, and cheap wiring, go find someone that's wrecking a BMW and see how much they want for the harness out of it. Because look at all those nice big red power wires, and they run quite a long way through the car, so you get a bit of length and get nice big fuse holders and fuse holders. This is out of a E39 5 Series BMW. That power wire runs, I think, the full length of the car. So I think this might be a harness that runs full length of the car from memory. But I parted these out ages ago, and you probably pick them up fairly cheap if you remove it. But like, you got big fuse blocks like that. Like, I don't know if they're any good to anyone like that, but it just gives you an idea on how to do stuff. Like, and if you needed a big fuse panel, clean that up, put like big distribution block like that with one power wire going to it. All the fuses are all there. Like how easy is that if you're building like a toy from scratch? That's easy. Big fuse box done, and you just put it in a box or something, and you got all your power wires running out to your relays. Super simple. But yeah, E39 5 Series BMW. The wire is good quality wire too. So could be talking out my ass, but it seems to be a good wire to me, so I'm happy to use it. But yeah, I'm just going to cut some of this red wire out now because I need to make a new power wire out of that red plug. This goes back through to a wire that I already had marked up as 12 volt, like ignition. Then they had ignition at the other end. So that's how bad. The harness didn't make any sense. It just, yeah, anyway. I'm going to cut some wire out of this and get back to it. Well, I thought I'd come down the shed and just get stuck into this. I lost the rotor button, so I had to go buy a new one today. I've got it all wired up. I'm not going to lie. I have cranked it and fired it just because I didn't want to show you guys me dicking around for hours trying to work out what I did wrong. But all I did wrong was I missed one wire to hook up. I just wasn't sure if it needed power or not, so I thought I'd wait. But just give me one sec. Now, if you're wearing headphones, you might not want to because it's loud. Just give me a sec. There we go. So, it's loud. Just start it again, why?
It did it as soon as I let go of the key.
Yeah, which is odd.
So do you want me to turn it and then let go again?
Yeah. Alright, might just hook a jump pack up. It might be just my one.
Juice.
Juice or something, I'm not sure.
That scared me.
Yeah, it's a little loud. Just hope I can blow the fuse or something. Go, yeah, just try it now.
Just start and let go?
Yeah, just start it normally. Well, obviously something's not right, but it sort of works. That's a start, I guess. So sort of working and not working is good, I guess. I don't know. I haven't got injectors hooked up yet or anything, so you probably don't want to see my ugly face. I'm going to go through and up and hook up. I don't know, not injectors. I don't know what I'm going to hook up. Might just have a bit of a play around with it and see what I come up with, because at least I know it runs, so that's a start. But I'll get back to you. Well, I can get it to start. Like, it'll start, but it'll only start if, as soon as I let go of the starting key. Oh, I've got a big manifold leak, maybe. Oh, no vacuum leak. Maybe it's a vacuum leaks. But, no, EFI shouldn't matter so much. Yeah, so as soon as the key comes off, like off the starter key, wants to fire. Maybe it is vacuum. I have got some big vacuum leaks here, so I might have to go. And the manifold, I don't think's tightened down properly yet either. I've just sort of slapped it together. Sort of runs. I might have to go through, do these, hook all the injectors up properly, tidy this wiring up. At least I know it starts for a second. So my wiring's fairly right. It'll be something odd. So I might get this manifold off, and then inlet manifold off, put the injector wires back on. I got to all be zippy tied to hold them down, but they all needs to be taped up. I just don't know how much I want to go through tidying up the wiring yet until I get it to run properly. So, because I noticed that I had to run power to, see this one here, that's power when you're cranking. That goes to the, I believe, it sends power through these little DB Whacker little resistor things. So it doesn't get feedback, I'm assuming. And it just sends a temporary signal through to the, I think to the ignition. So, in the coil, I believe, for that initial start. So, I don't know. I suppose I probably should hook up a fuel system, fix up the vacuum leaks, and try again. Because at least I know it's close. I just know I've got to run this wire here. That was for the power for the airflow meter. I forgot to hook that up, which shouldn't be a big issue just for a start up, but I got no oxygen sensors hooked up either. It's got lots of little issues. I just wanted to quickly do a quick start up and see what was doing, so I'll leave it for now. I just wanted to mess around for 10-15 minutes, see what would happen, and sort of happened. My jump pack went flat too, so I haven't charged it for a long time. So I thought I'll throw that on charge and I'll go do some other work for now. And yeah, get back to this. Alright, I'll get back to you when I've played around a bit more. Well, I haven't picked up the camera for about a week and a half, as I've been sort of just dicking around with the wiring still, just in between doing other jobs and bits and pieces, but it's pretty stripped. There's still a few little things I still want to take out of it, but you can see all the slowly been getting lights in, and well, they're not hooked up really at all. The back lights, shouldn't say that. But I've got my blinkers and stuff on the front. Had to go through and tidy up a lot of, there's a lot of cut wires, like randomly. Stuff like this, I just had to go through, rejoin stuff, everything properly. So it's a bit of a mess, but it sort of runs. I don't know if I've done something wrong with the wiring, but the thing is, the wiring must be right, I believe, because the car will start and run sometimes, but then it will only idle for a while, then it'll just shut down. Or if I turn it off, it won't start back up again. Sometimes it does it once. It might start again, but that's it. So I think I might be chasing another issue with this thing. So I could have I had the fuel injectors cleaned, but I'm wondering if the fuel pump because it's weird because it won't even start on brake clean. But the thing is, I've got spark and everything, so I got spark and something's odd. So I'll see if it starts. I haven't started it today, so I'll flick you around. We'll see if this thing starts up. I highly doubt it, but we'll see. Yeah, that's what it's doing. I'll just make sure it's got spark again. just in case that's my problem. Like, you can smell the fuel and everything. Definitely plenty rich. Oh, we're out of spark again. See if it sparks now. No. Yeah, it's randomly doing stuff. Like, sometimes it'll spark, other times it won't. I don't know if it's I don't know if it's got something to do with the smart entrance thing. But it's weird because, like, I've cut wires out of it because they were going to nothing that was hooked up anymore. But I can't, and nothing actually runs through the computer. I'm just going to try something too warm here. Nothing runs through the factory computer except for the dash now. So, hold on. I'm just going to make sure I've got power going to that relay box there, those fuses. I did have an issue with, oh shit, I got this all tangled up. I blew a fuse and then had a dud relay, and it's just been, said I've chopped out a lot of shit out of this thing. So, but it's sort of been, hold on, it's got a bit of power here. I'm just checking. Oh. See, keep losing power. Oh, actually helps if I've got the ignition on. that might help the situation. Now you got the fuel pump going. 12 volt, 12 volt, 12 volt, 12 volt. So I've got plant power everywhere. But I've lost spark again. So, yeah, I don't know. I think the plan is to just park it up for a little bit. Then I'm going to come back to it. I'll come back to it at a later date. I don't know. I just can't work it. It's doing my head in because I've bypassed this whole security system. But yeah, you randomly get spark and not get spark. I've checked all my connections and the coil's getting power, unless the module in the distributor is something playing up with that. I don't know if any V8 guys, like Ford EFI guys, got any idea if that's how that works. But yeah, there's power at the coil, both sides of the coil's getting power on both sides like it's going through. There's power at the ignition module, there's power coming out of the ignition module to the coil, which is the distributor. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't understand why it randomly wants to start and not start, and then yeah, it's got me buggered. And got to go through a few of the cars before I do anything else. And typical me, start another project while I'm working on it. Well, it's not really start on a project, it's finish off a project that I've been driving, but it's got lots of issues now because I threw it together to get it driving. So, and I'll be entering that in drag. I think it's drag weekend or drag trip or something. I know it's in Queensland at Willowbank. Just a bit of a get together with the guys, and you run the car at Willowbank for 3 days, and it's a good weekend. I've done a few with my brother, and it's just a bit of fun. So, but this is the first time I've entered the car. So, but that'll be on a future episode. So I'm hoping be out before the drag weekend. I'm hoping to get it all. I got no idea. My wife does all the editing, and she's been sort of up and down, so which is fair enough. She's got plenty of other things to do, and I'm not interested in doing any editing whatsoever. Doing this is more keeps me motivated to keep doing more stuff, I suppose, because I sort of lose a bit of motivation with my back. Get a bit down sometimes, but it is what it is. But speaking of that, if you are feeling a bit shit, speak to your mates. It's always good to have a chat to them, and if they're going to be a dick about it, then fuck them off. They're not mates. But yeah, I've got some good mates that I can talk to, so it's good. But yeah, plan is get this out and bring in some other cars and go through them all, and I'll record all that shit too and see what happens. But yep, thanks for watching. This is the end of this episode. I don't know how long it's going to be. It could be forever, and I've just talked a heap. So see you in the next one. Well, I just unplugged the computer. Hold on, I'll turn this music down. Just unplugged the computer and plugged it back in, and it started up. I noticed when I turned the dash on, it's very rich though, but that's not worry about that at this stage. But I noticed if I get a engine light comes on, oops, oh no, it's probably going to make a fool of me now, but if I get a flashing engine light, it won't start. So there you go. Runs. For how long, who knows? But it's running. So I think it's got something to do. Obviously the engine light thing is still working. I did unplug the hold on, turn it off. Did unplug the was it a smart entrance module, and I'm wondering if that was throwing the flashing engine light code. So I'm just gonna see if it does now, because usually it'll oh well, it's working. Must have been me playing around with this smart entrance thing. I'm going to just leave it, and yeah, there's power coming out some of those wires. I'm just going to put a bit of sleeve over them, and if it keeps starting, I'll be happy. But yeah, stoked. Looks like I might have found the issue was me dicking around trying to unplug that, and halfway through but the computer needed to be reset, like unplugged properly, because I had no power going to it, and plugged back in. I don't know if that's a Ford thing or anything thing, but worked. I've never had it start up like multiple times on the key. I'm just going to try it again, because why not? Usually wouldn't do that, so stoked. Yeah, thanks. Thanks for watching again, because I have to enter this in somehow. Well, I won't. Wifey will have to enter this in somehow. But I'm super stoked now. That means I still got to lay the car up for a bit, because I do need to do a few other cars. But it's one less thing I have to worry about when I go to put it back together. Or work on it again. Hopefully I'll be able to turn the key and it'll start again. But yeah, stoked as. All right, thanks guys.
Bad Back Garage.